Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men with power want? More power.
And now, broadcasting live on GMN from an undisclosed location in the Arizona desert. Italian by birth, American by choice. Songwriter, poet, freedom activist, Luca Zanna with Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All systems go.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us.
Hi, this is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom here on GMN Network and 1340 AM. I have a special guest today. She's a woman, but more than a woman, she's a witness, and I think also she's a victim, in my opinion. But we will find out. Today we will talk about mind control. We will talk about programs that have been out there in this world, especially in the U.S. government, at least in the last 40 years. We have here Mrs. Amy Anderson. Mrs. Anderson, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you very much for coming here. Please, can you tell us right now, we are talking over the phone line. Where are you calling from? Which part of the world?
I'm calling from the Bay Area of California, Northern California, and I live in Richmond, California, and I am a targeted individual that's being used for government mind control. And one of the things I did not know, that this technology been going on and been used on many United States citizens. It's beyond unethical human experimentation. This is war and information technology that's used to control people's synthetic, telepathic, natural way of communicating with others, but the difference is it's done by satellite or with other electronic communications devices that's interrupting the brainwave frequencies of any human and have the abilities to manipulate and alter the behaviors of these individuals, having these individuals sometimes mimic their emotions, send back artificial telepathic information to one's mind and bring them out their normal characteristics. Now, to bring facts
Mrs.
to
Anderson,
the table and to the viewers.
Mrs. Anderson, one second, before we go ahead, because I know you have a lot of information to share. I need to start to, first of all, I would like to know a little more about you. And more important, probably I did a little research and I believe what you're saying, but I'm sure the persons, the listeners that for the first time, they just turning this radio on and listening to your information, they must think that me and you are a bunch of crazy. So I would like to start a little bit before. First of all, you sound like a very intelligent person, at least articulated, and you know a lot of information that I would like to invite everybody to verify before we go ahead. But tell us a little bit before about your background. You live in Northern California. What you've been doing in your life? Why? First of all, what is your background?
Yes.
What do you do? What do you do? What you've been doing?
I'm a mother of a 13-year-old son. I had him when I was 14 years old. And my mother told me one thing growing up in the inner city. She said, I don't want you like me. And I didn't see nothing wrong with my mother. And I won't go into the things that people, just because you don't have an education don't mean you not a abiding citizen or person of good behavioral characteristics of knowing how to make your contribution in life. Well, my mother was one who we grew up on welfare, but I wanted to make sure that I established a successful life for myself. And one of the things I did was I always went to school. I was a preschool teacher, and that was the first thing. And I was a counselor for developmental mental disabled children and also chemical exposed children. I always dealt with people in some type of way of providing my services to want to help with people who had different things going on in their lives. And then I ended up being a security officer. And I also, that was my last job. And also before then, I worked as a wagering technician dealing with at the racetrack, dealing with people who place the bets. So I always had various types of jobs, and all my jobs always deal with people, serving people.
Mrs. Anderson, one second. When you say security officer, you were working for a private corporation as a security officer?
A corporation who's linked up to this government system that uses this technology. My former employer was Intercon Security Systems.
Wow. Did you hear, by the way, that
I did a background check on them and learned that they have contracts with the exact same people that use this technology, which is Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and anybody who deal with electromagnetic energy at the highest level. Now, I'm not saying that people are not innocent that work for these corporations, but a lot of these corporations have to work and synchronize with the government to use electromagnetic energy on United States citizens.
Wow.
And we will be discussing that information. But
yes.
Overall, I always was a concerned person. Also was a healthcare provider, using my skills to want to service the people and find something to where I can make a contribution to society and give back to my community, as well as have an opportunity to make me a living for myself.
Okay, Mrs. Anderson, now let's explain a little bit better exactly what does it mean, this program of target individuals. Exactly when you think, you did the research, what do you call this name? I mean, is a name that you gave to this project, or a name that we have some records that target individuals is being called by some government program?
Yes, very good analysis, introduction to what it is we're about to cover.
Yes.
The main thing is the technology has many names and many programs. Some of these programs, first of all, let's talk about the technology.
Yes.
The technology is basically artificial intelligence, synthetic telepathy, and government mind control, or psychotronic weaponry used to manipulate one's mind, creating for the purpose of mood management, some type of control over the person's behavior or characteristics, as well as having an opportunity to have your way with that person's mind with an undetectable method. So to help you understand the name of the technology, it's dealing with, it's one of the government patents you can go look up. It's called microwave auditory hearing effect. And what it is, it's a high-pitched sound for inducing this transmitting this electromagnetic energy to your mind, where you will have experience having somebody communicate inside your head. No different than the military had informed the United States citizens about the helmet, where the Air Force, the Navy, when they're up in high altitude, this helmet will allow them to speak and communicate with a telepathic method with this helmet with the pilot to give them instructions. But instead, they don't need these helmets. They can use this direct energy, transmit this electromagnetic directed energy weapon to your mind, where you will hear these subliminal thoughts and messages coming directly to your head, where that allows them to use these artificial intelligent electronic devices communicating with your mind. An example, if you go tell this to somebody that does not know about these this COVID technology, they'll lock you up, or they'll put on your medical records that you are schizophrenic.
Exactly.
Because you are describing something that is possible that's being artificially induced into your head. And this is what mind control is about.
Mrs. Anderson, 1 second only. I understand. Let's try to have a conversation two ways so we can ask questions too. I think what you said is very important because, by the way, to simplify it for the listeners that maybe it's the first time, what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, there is a technology out there that pretty much they can communicate to your brain sounds or messages, just directing some sort of like a laser or some sort of like directing like a weapon to your brain, and you can listen sounds or voices that, by the way, you can also buy this technology, of course, at lower level. I'm talking about, civilian level, or over the internet. There is a machine that I forgot the name, but I will find out, that you can direct this laser or this sort of
the acoustic sound, the subliminal wave.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Acoustic sound, subliminal wave. And I saw that on a video that when you direct this weapon against somebody, everybody else does not listen or hear anything.
Because that person has unique DNA and they have their own unique brainwaves as well. And they know, those who target you know your frequencies of your brainwave.
Yes, by the way, did you hear the sound? There were beeps. Was it on your side, on your line? Did you hear the two beeps right now?
Yes, I did. We deal with a lot of infiltration, things like that. But we won't let them stop us from doing what we have to do to get to our viewers.
Yeah. Normally, when I hear, I did a little research, when they have this type of beeps, there is somebody on the other line. He wants to be noticed, number one, and also he wants to be sure that he knows or they know that they are recording us. And that's fine, because at this point, I don't really care. And we're here to spread the message. And of course, we invite everybody, listeners, especially for the people that they have no still much information about it, they may be kind of skeptics about this topic. Please research. Why I think also this is so important. This is not just something to look like a novelty or like a sci-fi.
Sci-fi, no, this is not sci-fi.
This is
the
real.
Fact, they don't want people to know that the Matrix is really, there's some truth to that movie. In other words, having machines take over the human race. And these people are fighting for their lives, and that's what the target individuals are. We are fighting for our lives because they let us know that we are, this technology is being used on us, and they are sending this radiation to our body, radiating us for this synthetic telepathy to communicate. And basically, they are violating our bodies of our electromagnetic field, and these are the reasons why we are exposing what is happening to us with this technology. But when they put it in the medical a part of the medical field and the media, they say that this technology is supposed to help people with prosthetic limbs having the ability to move their functions with a computer. But they are not telling that they are already using this technology and putting nanotechnology into the sky, calling it chemtrails, and people are breathing this nanoparticle in their bodies, and it's allowing them to track us and pick us up, another form of miniature RFID chip.
Yes, I heard about that too. This is the geoengineering weather modification, aka chemtrails, is more than just modifying the weather. It's also a weapon used by the military, not only to hide radar and different things, but also to create some sort of a 3D map of around the world of every even human being out there. And I would like to talk more specifically about, first of all, when exactly did start this sort of when did you start to feel this, hear these voices? And then when it all started with you?
Okay, 6 years ago, I discovered, like Edward Snowden warned the American people, that the NSA is spying on United States citizens. Mm-hmm. Now, I want you to look up this case. It's called John St. Clair Ackwei, AKWEI versus NSA. He was a whistleblower who exposed that NSA has the technology. It's called, another name for mind control is called remote neural monitoring, and they are monitoring people's neurological system for controlling their anatomy system. And this is named the legal terminology that NSA technology was exposed from whistleblower John St. Clair Aquay, and they tortured him so bad he got reneged from his case. He didn't actually pursue the case. He just was tortured so bad he feared his life. Although his case is still out there, what the target individual was able to know about this. But my targeting started when I discovered that my phone was hacked into and being remotely controlled to spy on me, to use me as a test subject for mind control. And I discovered the identity of Jonah R. Montranga of San Francisco, and I did not know that I was his human test subject with him and his associate, Holly Brooke. And what I did was, they were hacking on my phone, controlling my electronic devices, and when they first started attacking me with this technology, you have all these electronic problems with your communication, interferences and things. Then you go try to get it fixed. Nobody can help you with this situation. Then I did a research after experiencing a computer glitch that rerouted me to my attacker, Jonah R. Montranga's website. I wanted to know what was his importance, why he was spying on me, and as a cyber hacker, from being a hacker, computer hacker, what was his reasons of attacking me, attacking my electronic devices and spying on me and rerouting my web pages, the original Google web pages elsewhere,
Mrs.
and
Anderson,
rewriting
Mrs. Anderson, so that
they can fit,
Mrs. Anderson. Mrs. Anderson, 1 second only. 1 second. Mrs. Anderson, please 1 second only. I need to interact 1 second with you. Otherwise, the questions, I understand you have a lot of information to share, but I like to also ask some questions. First of all, I see that you have a police report here. It's official police report from the Richmond Police Department, June the 28th, 2011. You pretty much, you go there and you try to expose, you put on record exactly all the things that you're telling me. You know, I think also, I see that the police officer, you know, he took you pretty seriously, in my opinion, you know. She talk about you like, he talk about you like you're a person, of course, at least you sound very meticulous and articulate. And I think he did a decent report. But now my question is, and I invite everybody to Google it, by the way. You can go to randomcollection.info and they can find Amy and the Anderson Police Report PDF. randomcollection.info/ Amy Anderson Police Report.pdf, and also will post it on my website, lovegunsfreedom.com. Now, my point is this: exactly what type of message, what are exactly the message, the content of the message, or the messages that you've been receiving? What exactly tell you that they want you to do?
Yes. Could you repeat that question again?
What is the type of message that normally you receive? What is the content of the message? What they tell you that? What type of message do they have for you?
Oh, what they do is they just, those are my attackers using the technology on me. They basically try to mimic my behaviors with an artificial method. It's like someone is trying to mimic you, like Simon says, but try to take you over with these supercomputers. These machines are the same reason why the United States government created the computer. The computer was created to think faster than a human, to function faster than a human and give faster results. So that's an example of what they are trying to do with my behavior. They're trying to, after knowing what it is I'm thinking from these terabytes of these supercomputers, they able to know what I'm thinking before I actually illustrate what it is I'm thinking out. And what they do is they try to intercept me. Even you, when you were speaking to me and I couldn't hear you, that's an example. Or they want me to talk where I can't hear what the person is saying, so I would just seem like I'm rambling on. But the thing is, I have to fight to get out what I'm saying, and that's sometimes, I won't say frustrated, it's sad that one would try to control your body and try to take over your body functions, as well as what it is, trying to control what it is you are actually wanting to say to other people, so you can appear to sound crazy to people, have a mental illness, and all these other things. Like right now, I'm fighting hard to remain with a calm, sit back, lay back way of telling you what's happening, and knowing at any given moment I can be under these attacks. Like right now, my feet is burning. They are radiating my right feet because they know they're listening to what I'm saying, and they punish targeted individuals. We suffer greatly from this radiation burning our skin, and because it's no different than a person that would experience a bad sunburn, but this is 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Mrs.
And
Anderson,
we learn to
Mrs.
tolerate
Anderson,
this pain.
Mrs. Anderson, I understand. I mean, at least it's a very emotional thing, especially if you have it on your skin. I'm just here so far as a witness trying to learn, and I feel the pain. But of course, the way you're going through it, and especially the last few years, what I think is really frustrating, in my opinion, is it's like a bad dream. It's like a nightmare. Once you have this information,
yes,
you know,
yes, and what it is you can't believe this is happening in this country.
Yes, and
no
everybody
one
makes
would
fun.
ever think that those who talk about war on terrorists,
Yes.
former President Bush, he was the exact same one that would not honor former Congressman Dennis Kucinich, who wrote the bill H.R. 2977, stating that the United States government is not to use this technology on United States citizens, testing out these electromagnetic weaponries, and it is space-based weaponries, it is land-based weaponries, it is sea-based weaponries, and they stated that they are not to use, in this bill, they are not to use this technology on United States citizens to destroy their biological life for them, meaning that one could think that they're sick, go to the doctor, be given cancer, mimicking these different various diseases because they learned the frequency of these
diseases. Mrs. Anderson, 1 second. This is very important. You're talking about a United States Congress bill with a former congressman.
H.R. 2977.
H.R. 2977. So I say, for all the skeptics out there, because I'm trying to, this is, of course, you're saying things that happen on your skin, and I wish we had more and more proofs that we could show. And I think this is very important, because this is an official bill. This is an official bill that it was there. It was knocked down. They stopped it. But I think it's very important that people do some research, because in this bill, they admitted that there exists such a weaponry. So even without going into many details, but there is a bill from a United States congressman, former congressman Dennis Kucinich, that it pretty much mentioned this weaponry and is trying to avoid to be used against American people.
After the Fukushima disaster, people rushed to protect themselves from radiation poisoning with potassium iodide. Unfortunately, since then, beer potion salesmen rode the plume and sold products which do absolutely nothing to rid the body of harmful radiation after a nuclear disaster. Scientists are now admitting that Fukushima's cesium-137 levels are 50% higher than they originally thought, and the cancer-causing radioactive isotope, which will contaminate our soil for the next 200 to 300 years, cannot be removed from the human body with iodide-based products. Developed by food science researcher Mike Adams, this patent-pending proprietary formula formula of zeolites and other ingredients called Cesium Eliminator helps support your body's natural elimination of lethal cesium isotopes. Go to radiationdefender.com to learn more and order your emergency supply of the most effective radiation eliminator on the market today. If you've ingested cesium-137, you're irradiating your body from the inside out. Throw away your potassium iodide and replace it immediately with Cesium Eliminator.
GMN is killing communism, one show at a time.
The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments of our Constitution. They guarantee the specific freedoms Americans should know and protect. Our liberty depends on it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be right back with an unforgettable way to remember your First Amendment rights.
Your search engine is watching you, recording all your searches and creating a massive database of your personal information. That's creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Startpage.com is the world's most private search engine. Startpage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. If you don't like Big Brother spying on you, start over with Startpage. Great search results and total privacy. Startpage.com, the world's most private search engine.
SPAR. It's what fighters do. It's also how I remember the 5 guarantees of the First Amendment. If you plan to take away my rights, I'm going to spar with you. SPAR with an extra P. S for speech, P for press, another P for petition, A for assembly, and R for religion. Most Americans are familiar with the First Amendment guarantees of free speech, press, assembly, and religion. But petition for redress is another matter. We have the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It means that if we're unhappy with what's going on in our government, we can spell out the reasons without fear of being thrown into jail. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at catherinealbrecht.com.
Hi folks, Ronnie McMullen here, talking to you about the immune system. As a talk show host, one of the major topics is health. It seems there are powers that be that want and desire the public to be sick. These are huge topics discussed in my show, but there is a way to combat this sick system. Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is an all-natural product that gently cleanses your inside, gives you more energy, and builds your immune system. All organic and a natural weapon against toxicity. Customers have been buying year supplies to make sure they're prepared and healthy. Interested? You should be. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com, or you can call us direct at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. On the Ronnie McMullen Show, these topics get covered. On the Get the Tea website, these topics are addressed. Get rid of the dis before ease. You'll just be left at ease. That's getthetea.com.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
After inventing his delicious Polynesian hot sauce, Tahiti Joe wanted to make another gourmet hot sauce that his lady would enjoy.
After a wild, passionate weekend on the islands, he thought, wow, she's not only hot-blooded, she's also half Italian.
With that in mind, Tahiti Joe created a tropical-style garlic hot sauce his lady would crave.
Now, Tahiti Joe's Tropic Garlic Hot Sauce has become the #1 garlic hot sauce on the market.
Tahiti Joe and his sisters dedicated Tropic Garlic to their father because he's their big kahuna and it's his favorite.
All of our sauces are made with a beautiful array of ingredients with no preservatives added, and are prepared with a tropical passion for that perfect balance of flavor and heat delivered directly to you.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
With email, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, and cell phones, we're more connected than ever before. But there are huge privacy and security problems with all of them. Things are being blocked where they're needed most, where people are fighting for their beliefs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to replace Skype, Facebook, email, and messaging with something more secure so you can communicate freely? Ready to change the world? Introducing Unseen, the first free, secure, and private communication platform. Secure chat, secure messaging, secure content delivery, like nothing else. Unseen gives you the key to freedom. You have the power to change the world. Sign up now for free to give freedom.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Hi, this is Luca Zanna. We are here on Love, Guns, and Freedom with Michael Haywood. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Great, Luca. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Listen, we had the first part of the hour. This is a very important guest, Mrs. Anderson. Allegedly, she says, and I did some research, and I believe what she's saying, that she's part of this program. She's a victim of this program called Targeted Individual. It's a sort of a mind control. Did you ever heard about, first of all, mind control sponsored by the government?
Oh, yeah. MK Ultra is one program they use. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yes, the MK Ultra is something that was, of course, in the 60s, and the technology was even there close to what we have right now.
Yeah.
After talking to Mrs. Anderson and learning a little bit more about target individuals, and this is way beyond what used to be MK Ultra. Now they have technology that through radiation, through special waves, sound waves, they can pretty much control your mind. They can put in your mind sounds or voices. And this is very scary, because why we are talking like in this show, Love, Guns, and Freedom, why say people now, are you talking about mind control? What has to do with the guns of freedom? And this is very important. If we can prove, and I think we have enough proofs and evidence, that there are programs sponsored by the U.S. government and also from other governments around the world, and also by private corporations. They have technology to pretty much influence our mind and control it, to make us do things that we never wanted to do, or say things that we didn't want to do. Our freedom is gone, and they can also use as pawns to create crisis. So I think this is very important, and of course I want to be here with an open mind. I don't want to just say I believe everything, I hear it, but I would like to invite everybody listening to the show to start to do some researches. For example, Mike, do you remember, I wasn't around here in this country, I was even born probably, during the Kennedy assassination, JFK and also his brother, Robert Kennedy.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of different theories and also evidences that really prove, for example, especially Mr. Robert Kennedy, the person that was set up, in my opinion, to shoot Mr. Kennedy, it wasn't exactly in control of his own actions. And do you remember about President Reagan when he was at the attempted assassination that he faced? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And the same thing, that guy, his parents were actually friends with the Reagans, so that's a little bit suspicious right there.
To be frank, that's not the only thing. I mean, more important, was the family was a very good, close friend to George Bush, the father. And more important, there are a lot of elements, if you can start to look into this, that there were really resemblances they give you the opportunity to understand that there is more than we know. And the same thing with these, the target individuals. I heard about this word just a few weeks ago from a friend, is a listener and also a great friend of GMN, Guerrilla Media Network. His name is Ken, and he started to give me some information about these target individuals. And I really believe that there is already this technology, so much that I heard and I saw on eBay, you can buy machines available to civilians, to the public, for a couple $1,000. And I know Ken, he has one, Mr. Ken from GMN Network. that this machine can give you pretty much send you a message to your brain that you can listen the voice that pretty much you're saying. And right now there is also for crowd control, just to show that this is already technology out there, even for law enforcement. There is this called a sound blaster, okay? That it's like a cannon that directs a sound, like a wave, and wherever it's directed, only wherever it is aimed to or aimed at, that person will pretty much receive this extreme sound. Everywhere around or in the back, there is zero sound. You can find already this technology on YouTube. Did you ever heard about this sound blaster?
Oh yeah, they've already been using them in this country. They used them, I think, in Pennsylvania a few years ago during the G8 meetings on the civilians there.
Yeah, and this is just to create some sort of pain for compliance. But imagine, if you can start to put direct like this type of weaponry towards somebody's brain, and you can start to make them hear voices or things that you hear that makes no sense, or maybe they just start to drive you crazy. And then condition your behavior. I really believe that in many other situations that we should be a better investigation, like the Aurora, Colorado shooting. There are a lot of things that don't adds up. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That the guy was under special psychiatric care, and the doctor was in charge of his care was an officer from the Air Force, if I understand, that he was in control. One of the top names in this experimentation for mind control.
Well, just about every one of these shootings has some kind of connection like that with government or the mind control parts of government or special ops. Just about every one of them do.
Yeah, that's my point. I don't want to say everything is a conspiracy, but we must have an open mind, because if it is true, and I believe there is a lot of facts that they really can prove this, that there are these programs. This is a constant sort of almost an unlimited power that we're never going to be allowed to know when they use it, for which purpose they use it. But having these programs in the hands of few elite or a part of the government, we know that everything now we're going to start to see and face, even in the news, we must have an open mind to start to analyze it also with the perspective that could be a mind control operation. And why this is important? Because they can use these tools, this technology, to enslave us. And today, for example, these targeted individuals, it is just a minority of the population, and of course I feel sorry for them, because it's like living in a nightmare. Nobody wants to believe you. Think about it. Like tomorrow you go out, you're going to talk to whom? To your doctor? They're going to lock you up. But tomorrow could be all of us, if they can reach such technology to start to create a mass scale operation on mind control. That's why it's so important that we learn about this, because without free will there is no freedom. If they can control every aspect of our life, conditioning us, or with fear or with technology, we are completely going to be enslaved in every aspect of our life. So I invite everybody to listen to the show again, do some research about Amy Anderson, the guest that we just played the first part of the hour, and hopefully we will spread this information to everybody. Now, Michael, let's talk about also our sponsors, because it's really important that, this is a free market operation. There is no coercion. It's not like the government that they get your money and then they give it to NPR. We are here because of good people and good businesses that they believe in our message. One of that is the Colorado River Vapor. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Colorado River Vapor, 2 locations. The original store in Fort Mojave at 4400 Highway 95. The second store, it's been open about 3 months. It's in Bullhead City, 1931 Highway 95, Bullhead City. Tom and Karen Sanford, really nice people, are the owners of these businesses. If you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, if you've been trying for a long time, you need to go see Tom or Karen. They can help you. The vapor, it doesn't have all the chemicals that tobacco has in it. It'll wean you off cigarettes. So they have like, I don't know, hundreds of flavors. Have you been in the store yet, Luca? You've been in one of the stores, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it is more than just vaping. Especially if you go to the Fort Mojave location. If you like music, if you like meeting people, there is a great stage, great instruments. It's like a free jam session for all. It's a great way to network with like-minded people, so I think it's a great opportunity. And this is, of course, in Fort Mojave and in Bullhead City in Arizona. And
if you, I'm sorry, but if you like this show and you want to support this show, support our sponsors. And that starts with Colorado River Vapor.
Yes, and also don't forget, in case you live outside Mojave County or Bullhead area, you can go to our website, lovegunsfreedom.com. On the homepage, there is a banner directly for the Colorado River Vapor website, link directly to them, and you can also order products online. So that would be great. We appreciate it. All right, Michael, did you hear other news? There is so much going on. I look like right now like we are during the last few days of Rome, and Nero is playing a little, violin. Even they didn't have a violin, he had a different instrument. But this is almost like a bad nightmare, and it seems like very well all organized and planned in very detailed way for a reason. We are facing a complete economic, social, political, and also moral chaos. I mean, think about it. We have right now completely the enemy. The Trojan horse is already inside the walls, and the soldiers, they are pretty much stabbing us while we are sleeping, and they are opening the gates. That's the way I feel, especially with this illegal invasion that is being planned. We have enough evidence that is being planned and also aided and abetted by the White House for a plan. We have more than 50,000 or more illegal aliens, teenagers, that they've been dropped with their bus, directly paid by us. These buses, they're paid by Homeland Security, directly from Texas or other part of the borders, straight to Phoenix. And they were coming also to Murrieta, California. I know that there are a lot of now good Americans that are standing up, and they want to try to stop these buses. The point is, guys, is not just a humanitarian crisis. This is a setup. This is a setup for an invasion. First of all, we owe help to our fellow Americans first. We have veterans that they're dying. They've been denied their service of healthcare or any type of benefits that they deserve. We have American kids that are going to sleep at night without food. We have a lot of people that already there we cannot afford, that we cannot go to China to borrow another billions or 2 billions or how many billions dollars or to the private Federal Reserve and then give it to, unfortunately, people that their government should be taking care. Because we're talking about a lot of human beings that they're coming because it's being advertised in their country, talking about places like Guatemala, like Salvador, even Mexico, that come to America and you're going to be taken care. And this is their government job. But we very well know this is part of the New World Order strategy to destroy the borders. And more important, Mike, as you know, they need to have a new army of following the orders, clones, like the movie Star Wars. They got this big army of clones that will be able to ready to follow the orders of the new king or the new tyrant that when time comes. Because remember, all these kids, they're not really kids, they're teenagers. They already have now under the education undertaken care by FEMA. In a couple of years, they will look for a job, and I'm sure FEMA will provide them a job. And don't forget already that the Obama administration already been shutting down many opportunities for active duty soldiers. They are pretty much pushing them to an early retirement. Meanwhile, they're opening the hiring to illegal aliens. Now, illegal aliens have a great chance to join the army or to join the militaries, and they pretty much want illegal aliens for many reasons. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, of course they do. I mean, it gives them voters, for Democratic voters. They come in at an early age, and they don't know anything about freedom or the history of this country. So they just, all they know is the United States government has been taking care of them, and they're going to have, that's where their allegiance will lie, is with the with the government, not with the country, or not with the people, not with any freedoms. They'll just be have allegiance to Obama or whoever the next president is.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I mean, this is like in Russia, like happened in Cuba, where they get the children very early stage, okay, and then they spend pretty much they have no family. The family doesn't exist anymore. The
state is their family.
Exactly. Now they needed, remember, the big new army of Homeland Security. They need, first of all, Homeland Security. It is already there. It is not the army. It is under direct control of on U.S. soil under the presidents or whoever is behind the president. And then we have now a new force that is being created. And this is the created of people that really come here on a special privilege ticket created by this administration, and not just this administration, because Bush wanted to do the same thing. The only thing that's different, Bush, he couldn't do it because it was Bush. Now Obama pretty much can do everything, and everybody thinks that is doing it for the good reason, or there is always a good reason behind. But the point is following the same agenda of the Bush. This is called New World Order, called global government. And to create a global government, you must destroy the sovereignty of every nation. America is the last free-standing nation, at least used to be. And now when you have 30, 40, 50 millions illegal aliens, as you said, that they pretty much don't understand the principle of this country where it was created upon. It was about individual rights, about freedoms, about Bill of Rights. They come, unfortunately, from countries that have a very strong socialist or Marxist influence, Salvador, Guatemala, and they already been brainwashed by the government, and they will be used by this government, or at least who is behind the government, that there are bankers, international bankers, to create this final utopia is called a global government. Because at that point, they have enough. Remember, when you got 30 or 40 million illegal aliens that be here, and they will have given amnesty, and they will be able to vote, they will also be able to bring through a migratory chain visas. They will also bring their families, and they can double their numbers. So we were going to be dead. At the election polls, we will be dead the next few years. And then at that point, we understand why all the last few presidents, they go on screen and they try to brainwash us that we are a democracy, that we must spread democracy. This is exactly the most dangerous thing that our founding fathers ever believed. They never were in any constitution or any other documents we are supposed to be a democracy. We are a republic, constitutional republic. The democracy means that now we have a 51% of the mobs, of these new voters, try to vote us out of all our rights. Simple as that.
And you know, he keeps saying, Obama, that he's sending all these people back, but it's a catch and release. Might send a few back just for show, but most of them are being taken by buses to different, wherever they want to go in the United States. And so far, you know, the media's not covering it. Some people in Marietta, California, found out that they were coming there, and they stopped the buses, which is, you know, I think that's great. I wish I had been there with them. But for the most part, these people are just being relocated all over the country, hundreds of thousands of them from what I've heard, and it's just a complete mess. Plus, there's been a sighting of a lot of UN trucks going toward the Texas border. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, you know, you must have read my mind, because I was going to just bring this up. This is really, like I said, we are in the final stages, I think, before something very big is going to happen. They've been, the last month, you know, I've been receiving emails and finding also different posting and YouTubes about United Nations troops, especially white armored vehicles, going around Texas or Georgia, different parts of the southern states. This is very serious, because first of all, right there, say why United Nations trucks, they are going around our highways. I mean, what's going on? Now it starts to make sense. Remember that all they need now, it's a crisis, and this humanitarian crisis, as Mr. Obama is saying, I mean, this could be very well a new, almost a sparkle to create a state of emergency. And we already know our soldiers, they're pretty much being sent all over the world. National Guard probably now is at the borders of Iraq, not our borders. Yeah. And we know very well there is still this FEMA agreement, and I would like to remind to all the new listeners to check it out. Go to Google and also go to New American Magazine from the German Birth Society. It has a very good article about it. FEMA wrote and signed an agreement with the Russian military, the same Russian military that now they're trying to demonize that there is this crisis in Ukraine, and this is a scam, of course. But there is this agreement between Russian military and FEMA that in case of an emergency on U.S. soil, the Russian troops will provide, I say again, will provide safety and security to keep the peace. And I also would like to remind you that we have right now in Hawaii Chinese troops. This is on mainstream news. Go check it out. And just a couple of weeks ago, they did a naval joint exercise with American troops. Never Chinese troops were allowed to put their feet on U.S. soil. This is happening. Something's happening. Don't forget that also the Obama administration, without the Senate approval and ratification, signed just a few months ago the Small Arms Treaty with the United Nations. I mean, what do you want, guys? I mean, one day we will wake up and maybe we're going to find out that our homes are surrounded. Seriously, that's why you want to say, okay, we got to do something? Mike, I'm pretty frustrated, as you can hear a little bit, but that's why we're here. This is my little job, my little duty, to try to awake our listeners to at least to start to pay attention.
Yeah, we have to come together. We have to stop bickering, especially the left versus right, because when it comes down to it, it's not about that at all. This is something that's going to affect all of us. These Chinese troops, these Russian troops, these illegal aliens don't care what party you're with.
Exactly. And meanwhile, I would like to remind you how your freedoms are gone. I mean, think about it. People, there is two different set of laws. We have illegal aliens that break federal laws. Not only they've been given free passes, free food, free meals, free hotels, or free places to sleep. I mean, all free on us. Meanwhile, we have, of course, people like regular legal immigrants, like I was myself, and other millions like myself, that we are completely looking at this like, why? What's going on? This is like a discrimination for real. We had to follow all the rules of the different laws, waiting online for years, and now we look like we were just a bunch of idiots. But of course, there's another plan, especially if you're from Europe. There's a different standard. You are discriminated. That's a fact. Now, I remind you also, you think that you are a free nation anymore. Unfortunately, we are not. And I'm not saying that we cannot take it back. I'm saying that we must first admit that there is a problem. And only when we admit that the land of the free, home of the brave, it's now history, only then we can go and take it back. Otherwise, if we still want to live in the illusion that this is America of the 50s or your grandfather, or when it used to be still America. No, this is not. We've been occupied by international corporations, by central bankers. They control every government of the world, and of course they control also the U.S. government. Now, this is not really a new news, but I really think it still shocks me every time. There is a man that has been sentenced 30 days in jail in Oregon because he was collecting water from his own, catching rain water from his own roof. 30 days in jail. Can you believe that? On your own home was supposed to be your own property, that we know, of course, it's just a fraud, since if you don't pay your property taxes, you lose it. You go to jail. But meanwhile, we have people that pretty much they're walking out of jail, or they don't even face any jail, and they're doing very huge crimes. Like, look at right now, all the scandals that they're coming out with the IRS. And these are not left or right. This is facts. I don't care about Republicans. These are facts. The IRS used as a political weapon. And then look at Benghazi. Come on, guys. I don't know, Mike. I just hope in a miracle, and more important, I hope the American people will wake up and we stand up together.
Well, so do I. And as far as the rainwater situation, that's been going on for a while. I remember a couple of years ago they arrested someone. I don't think it was in Oregon, but that's something that's part of Agenda 21, I'm pretty sure.
Do you have low energy, depression, inflammation, pain, colds and flus, yeast overgrowth, a protruding belly, or bad breath? You can support the elimination of all these issues and improve your health dramatically by learning this one overlooked aspect of protein nutrition. Discover how to stay young all the years of your life. Call and listen to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments of our Constitution. They guarantee the specific freedoms Americans should know and protect. Our liberty depends on it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be right back with an unforgettable way to remember one of your constitutional rights.
Your search engine is watching you, recording all your searches and creating a massive database of your personal information. That's creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Startpage.com is the world's most private search engine. Startpage doesn't store your IP address, make a record of your searches, or use tracking cookies, and they're third-party certified. If you don't like Big Brother spying on you, start over with Startpage. Great search results and total privacy. Startpage.com, the world's most private search engine.
When I think of the Second Amendment, I visualize myself wrapping my two arms around the Bill of Rights in a big old bear hug. It's how I remember that the Second Amendment guarantees us the right to bear arms. Arms that embrace our freedoms and won't let anyone take them away without a fight. Get it? Two arms, bear hug, bear arms? The late Senator Hubert Humphrey captured the spirit of the Second Amendment so well when he said, "The right of the citizens to bear arms is just one guarantee against arbitrary government, one more safeguard against the tyranny which now appears remote in America, but which historically has proved to always be possible." I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht. More news and information at catherinealbrecht.com.
Moms of America know the challenge of feeding their families under the best of circumstances. Now imagine what would happen during an emergency. I'm Susanna Cole with GMN, and we've partnered with the father of the food storage industry to supply our listeners with the essentials of life. We have an individual obligation to become self-sufficient so that none of us is reliant upon the government during a time of need. And of course, women's intuition tells us that we're in big trouble, and we all know that the cost of food is skyrocketing. We see it on the grocery store shelves every day. The time is now to stock up on emergency food supplies. No more waiting. Buy your supplies now, and it's almost guaranteed that your investment is going to increase in value because the price of your supplies will be doubled in the near future. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/food to find out more about My Farm in a Box. Ladies, I cannot emphasize enough. Use your woman's intuition and take action now to prepare your loved ones for what you know is coming. Go to GorillaMediaNetwork.com/food.
Visit WazooSurvivalGear.com, home of the Adventure Bracelet and other wearable survival kits today. For survival bracelets with all of the features you need for everyday challenges, with options for construction materials, individualization, and a wide range of utility features like fishhook, safety pin, whistle, cable ties, fire steel and striker blade, compass, and more. Meant to be disguised in your everyday life and ready whenever you need it. Don't forget to upgrade your Adventure Bracelet to include surgical tubing, first aid tinder fat packs, and a handcuff key. WazooSurvivalGear.com, survival bracelets, survival keychains, do-it-yourself kits, and more. Plus, if you donate $100 or more to the Gorilla Media Network, we will send you one of Wazoo's wearable survival kits with a custom GMN nameplate as a reminder of our appreciation.
Do you have low energy, depression, inflammation, pain, colds and flus, yeast overgrowth, a protruding belly, or bad breath? You can support the elimination of all these issues and improve your health dramatically by learning this one overlooked aspect of protein nutrition. Discover how to stay young all the years of your life. Call and listen to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
This is Audio Soldier from the Sunday Night Reboot Show with this special message. GMN needs the support of each of our listeners since we will never take a dime from major corporations. Your contributions are not only appreciated, they are critical to maintaining our independence and loyalty to our listeners. Please visit www.gmn.is or GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com and click on the donate button now. Our donors and members will have access to our chat rooms, forums, and daily downloads of commercial-free iTunes podcasts. Please donate now.
Hi everyone, Keith Santilli here. Be sure to tune in live each and every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself and Susanna Cole join you each and every day right here on the Guerrilla Media Network, live every single day, telling you the truth whether you like it or not.